Right now, over the Taiwan Strait, Chinese J-20 stealth fighters are flying patterns that U.S. Air Force pilots have never seen before. These aren't the sluggish knockoffs American generals dismissed 5 years ago. These are hunters, equipped with new Chinese engines that just changed the entire calculus of Pacific air warfare. And the F-35, America's $1.7 trillion bet on air dominance, might have just met its match. For over a decade, the J-20 Mighty Dragon limped through the skies on Russian AL-31 engines, older power plants that turned China's stealth fighter into a compromise. It could hide from radar, but it couldn't run. Every time a J-20 needed to go supersonic, it lit up like a Christmas tree on infrared sensors, bleeding heat signatures that screamed its position to every F-35 within 100 miles. But in late 2023, everything changed. China's WS-15 engine finally entered mass production. This isn't just an incremental upgrade. The WS-15 generates 40,000 pounds of thrust with full afterburner, putting it in the same league as the F-22 Raptor's F-119 engines. More critically, it gives the J-20 something the F-35 can never achieve: supercruise capability. Supercruise means flying faster than the speed of sound without using afterburners. No heat bloom, no fuel-guzzling sprint that empties tanks in minutes. The J-20 can now cruise at Mach 1.4 for extended periods, positioning itself for kills while the F-35 either burns fuel to keep up or falls behind. Here's where it gets worse for the Pentagon. The J-20 doesn't just fly faster now. It carries the PL-15 air-to-air missile, a weapon with an estimated range of 200 miles. Compare that to the American AIM-120 AMRAAM at 100 miles. In a beyond visual range fight, the J-20 pilot can shoot first, then simply turn around and outrun any return fire. This isn't theoretical. In 2022, leaked Air Force briefings revealed that in simulated combat scenarios over Taiwan, J-20s equipped with PL-15s achieved first-shot capability in 68% of engagements against F-35s. The American pilots never got close enough to fire back before having to go defensive, dodging missiles while their targets disappeared into the radar clutter. The math is brutal. An F-35 has to get within 100 miles to shoot. A J-20 can engage from 200 miles, fire, then accelerate away at supercruise speeds the F-35 cannot match in sustained flight. It's a knife fight where one side has a sword. But wait, isn't the F-35 the stealthier aircraft? Yes, on paper. The F-35's radar cross-section is smaller than the J-20's. American engineers spent billions perfecting every angle, every panel gap, every coating to make the F-35 nearly invisible to conventional radars. The problem is China stopped playing by conventional rules. Along the eastern Chinese coastline, the People's Liberation Army has erected a network of low-frequency early warning radars specifically designed to detect stealth aircraft. These massive installations don't give precise targeting data, but they don't need to. They tell Chinese commanders that stealth fighters are in the area, roughly where, and vector J-20s toward the threat. Once a J-20 gets within 50 miles using those early warning cues, its own AESA radar, operating in LPI mode, can burn through the F-35's stealth at closer ranges. And with PL-15 missiles, the J-20 never needs to close to dogfighting distance. It can launch from 40 miles out, where both aircraft can detect each other, and then disengage at speeds the F-35 cannot match. Stealth fighters are only effective if you have enough of them. The United States currently operates around 450 combat-ready F-35s, split between the Air Force, Marines, and Navy. That sounds impressive until you realize they're distributed across the entire globe. In a Taiwan contingency, the Pentagon estimates it could surge maybe 200 F-35s into the theater within the first week. Meanwhile, China has been building J-20s at a terrifying pace. As of early 2025, the PLA Air Force operates approximately 250 J-20s, with production running at 4 to 5 aircraft per month. By 2027, they'll have over 350, all based within 500 miles of Taiwan. The implications are staggering. In the opening days of a conflict, China could achieve local air superiority through sheer numbers. even if the F-35 maintains a kill ratio advantage. And recent war games suggest that advantage is shrinking. What happens if they do get close? If the missiles miss, if electronic warfare breaks the targeting chains, if this somehow devolves into a guns fight at close range? The F-35 was never designed for this. It's a strike fighter, optimized for hitting ground targets while surviving in contested airspace. The J-20, despite its size, incorporates thrust vectoring nozzles and canard foreplanes that give it superior post-stall maneuverability. In a slow-speed turning fight, the J-20 has advantages. Not overwhelming ones, and a skilled F-35 pilot could still win, but the American technological edge in close combat is marginal at best. Of course, modern air combat doctrine says dogfights shouldn't happen. But doctrine assumes your missiles work, your sensors function, and the enemy cooperates. In the chaos of actual war, when electronic warfare is jamming every frequency, aircraft end up knife fighting whether they planned to or not. The scenario that keeps Pentagon planners awake is simple. China invades Taiwan, and the U.S. intervenes. J-20s would launch from bases in Fujian and Zhejiang provinces, just 100 miles from Taiwan. They'd have home field advantage, operating under the protective umbrella of those ground-based radars and Chinese surface-to-air missile systems. American F-35s would launch from Okinawa, 400 miles away, or from carriers in the Philippine Sea, 200 miles out. They'd be flying into an integrated air defense system specifically designed to kill them, with J-20s positioned to intercept before they even reach Taiwan. The first wave of American fighters would face a horrific choice: punch through Chinese air defenses to establish a presence over Taiwan, accepting heavy losses, or stay at standoff range and cede the airspace to China. Neither option is acceptable. Both might be unavoidable. Publicly, Air Force leadership maintains that the F-35 remains superior to any adversary aircraft. Behind closed doors, the messaging is different. Leaked briefings from the Air War College reveal that in every major war game conducted since 2020, the United States loses hundreds of aircraft in the first week of a Taiwan scenario. The losses aren't just from J-20s. Chinese surface-to-air missiles, anti-ship ballistic missiles targeting carriers, and cruise missiles hitting air bases in Japan and Guam all contribute. But the J-20, with its upgraded engines and long-range missiles, is the weapon that prevents the U.S. from establishing air superiority quickly. And without air superiority, nothing else works. The nightmare scenario isn't that the F-35 loses every fight against the J-20. It's that the F-35 wins 60% of engagements. But that isn't enough. If China can sustain a 40% kill rate while producing J-20s faster than America can replace F-35s, the attrition math eventually favors China. And wars aren't fought on even terms. China fights close to home with short supply lines. America fights 6,000 miles from its factories. This isn't a future problem. It's happening now. Chinese J-20s are flying combat air patrols around Taiwan daily. American F-35s shadow them from standoff distances. Both sides are testing each other's responses, mapping each other's radar patterns, studying each other's tactics. One miscalculation, one aggressive maneuver, one pilot's split-second decision, and the first stealth versus stealth engagement in history happens. When it does, decades of assumptions about American air dominance will be tested in seconds. And if those assumptions are wrong, if the J-20 with its new engines and long-range missiles proves equal or superior to the F-35 in the one place that matters, the entire U.S. strategy in the Pacific collapses. So what do you think? Can the F-35 still dominate the skies? Or has China finally built a fighter that ends American air superiority? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.